Don't buy anything in your name if you don't trust your wife enough to buy those things in her name. Put all your assets in a trust and name your wife and children sole beneficiary with equal rights. In this case, you technically don't own anything. Does it really worth it for a woman to build alongside a man? For instance, a man is investing on a property or properties, maybe building some commercial structures, even if it is not a commercial structure, a residential home, maybe in the village, in the city where the family will be residing. And then, does it worth it for a woman to contribute certain amount of quota, for instance, 20%, 30% to support the man's project? Does it worth it in this time and days? You know, there is a certain tradition, a certain tribal tradition in Nigeria that doesn't allow a woman to inherit anything after the demise of the man of the house. No matter how a woman had worked with the husband when he was alive to put those resources together, property, land, and all of that, by the time the man passes on to glory, what happens next? All of those inheritance would go to the deceased man's brothers or male relatives. The woman doesn't get anything. And in certain Igbo tradition in the past, though this still plays out in some families, yes, some people are yet to give up on the old tradition. You know, a female child is not considered to have any inheritance when a man or when a father dies. Sometimes female children are not even included in a will. Nothing for them, because it is believed that female children should not be included as inheritors. Apart from the male children, they are the heir apparent, male relatives. Boys in the family, they are considered the inheritors when a father dies, you know, because they see a woman as that she would grow up and then gets married into a different family, you know. And in that family, I mean, our tradition is not really balanced, you know, because seeing a woman that she would in turn grow up, get married, move from her original family to a new family, and when she finally goes into a new family, something happens there and she's not included. A wife does not inherit anything at the demise of the man of the house, you know. So women generally doesn't have anything. They just, I mean, our culture, I am an Igbo lady, you know, this is really sad. So all they see women as just children producers, you know, carers, you know, nursing mothers. You come in, you nurse the children, you produce children, you take care of the home. The place of a woman is in the kitchen, according to our late president. Did our president die? Yes, they said he died in London here. You know, I think that is what women are perceived as in our Igbo society. I don't know if any other part of Nigeria has this mentality. So this very comment brought me to this very video topic. You know, I made my research, but this is the topic. I have a lot of comments I screenshotted from the first video I made about why reasons why most African marriages are not surviving in the Western country. This young man here dropped this comment on that video. As an Igbo man living in abroad or not, whose family tradition still gives siblings power to share the man's property and wealth in his passing, I have only one advice. Don't buy anything in your name if you don't trust your wife enough to buy those things in her name. What is even marriage without trust? Are you listening? If you cannot buy those things in your wife's name, or even include her. Not Mr. and Mrs. Gabriel Okafor, who is the Mrs. It should be Mr. Ikechukwu Okafor and Mrs. Chioma Jane Okafor. You know, by the time you appear in the law court, when they begin to analyze Mr. and Mrs. Gabriel Okafor to you, you will be like, and I feel this has been a joke. Let's read on. If you don't trust your wife enough to buy those things in her name, what is even marriage without trust? Put all your assets in a trust and name your wife and children sole beneficiary with equal rights. In this case, you technically don't own anything. Oh my God, God bless you, sir. This man is so selfless. He doesn't even want to appear to own anything, especially if you trust a woman in your life and your kids as well. Some children are very wayward, you know. Sorry to say that. You know, everything I have is in my wife's name, except what I am buying do not have a receipt. God bless you, sir. My reason is simple. I don't want my kids to suffer what I suffered 32 years ago after the passing of my father. His family members took everything valuable and invaluable, and they said it is tradition. So he was making reference to his past experience 32 years ago. That should be in the 80s or 90s, 32 years ago, 90s. You know, he didn't want such to repeat itself again. And here I am today asking if there are still families in Igbo land or in Nigeria that still does something like this. I've seen a couple of them on Facebook where a family is bereaved, you know, and then they would throw the widow away with her children, especially when the man had just female children. Nothing for the woman and her children. I think that was the one they raised fund for by Harrison Bemisi. Sorry, I'm pronouncing all these names wrongly. You know, they raised fund for the woman to support her, and some they would accuse them of being responsible for the demise of their husbands. So, however, in the past, how women were recognized according to a common practice then was that when a man dies, the widow will be inherited by the man's brother. That was a common practice in the past. By so doing, the family will continue its lineage, you know. So the widower's brother would care for the late brother's wife and the children. But in the recent time, there has been a shift because of modernization. The courts have increasingly recognized a woman's rights, especially a widow, to inherit, you know, particularly when there are no male heirs. Yes, a woman can inherit the late husband's property. So something like a levirate marriage is no longer practiced in our Igbo tradition. In modern time, a late man's brother can no longer inherit a late man's wife in this modern time. No, it has stopped. Levirate marriage, or whatever they call that in the past. Moreover, before they abolished this levirate marriage, you know, some scholars and constitutional provisions, they condemned the act of women being discriminated upon when it comes to inheritance, that it is an act that violates the constitutional provisions guaranteeing equal human rights. So I don't know what you make of this. In this modern time, would you support your husband when making an investment? You know, I think what I've pointed out should be when making any investments, if you truly trust your woman, you know, put her name in it. And you as a woman, if you are investing, if your man did the same for you, why not include him? So add his name while signing the contract. This is marriage. This is trust. You are going into marriage for better, for worse. A lot of comments I had on my videos lately got me really worried. Some people talking about not trusting the woman you are marrying to or a man holistically because you can never tell tomorrow. Somebody talked about, I think in one of the videos, if he was to bring the wife to the Western country, that he would definitely take the wife to Okija Shrine in Nigeria to swear, that they would never leave each other until after 20 years. Then I was wondering, is it just you want your marriage to last for 20 years? So after 20 years, the woman can walk away, you walk away. Is that your plan for your marriage? So what do you make of this? I just hope that the Igbos still do not have this tradition whereby a woman is not regarded. I remember in a very family that I know, when the man passed, they read his will. He included the female daughters. Yes, he did not only give them movable properties. No, he gave them, in the will, he gave them properties that are not movable. When a property is not movable, you know what that means? Structures. These are not empty plots of land, but already built structures. He gave his female daughters. And this happened recently, just in this year, 2020 plus, either 2021 or 2022, that this happened, and he has male children, but then he didn't will everything to his male children. He included the female children. If our parents should be doing things like this, that would be great. For me, to be honest with you, I am not wishing for evil. The way I see life, should anything happen, God forbid, and anybody close to, will be saying, okay, you have nothing, that you should just go away, they want to take the property. My type, that I have seen a lot in this life. I have watched my father die. I held him in his hand when he drew his last breath. I watched my mom pass. I was reciting the Holy Rosary with his fingers and she drew her last breath. Life is nothing. There was a bunch of money my mom gave me to keep, and some of our documents that my father handed over to him. Guess what? Family of 9. I am the sixth, but my mom, I was really running so much errands for the family, collecting rents from our property in Onitsha then, and the one in the village. I used to travel all the way from Onitsha to the village to collect money. We have shops in the local village market, so I used to be the one going to collect all the money. So they entrusted so much into my care, Not as if I have wayward brothers, but they were not really interested, to be honest. Though I would account to our big bros, yes, who is living in Onitsha and currently living in Onitsha. I would come and tell him, look at the money I collected and all of that. And he would say, take this one, go back to school. I wasn't, at a point, I was in higher institution in Enugu then. He mentioned it recently. He would say, yeah, take some part of the money, go back to school, blah, blah, blah. So my mom handed over all of this. Yes, so when she passed in Onitsha then, I traveled to the village. I used a chair to climb up, bring down the document from the ceiling. A female child out of, we have 5. My parents has 5 boys. I am the 6th. Our last is not even a boy, So I brought the boss of the document and all of that, put it in a bag. I traveled to Onitsha and gave it to my big bros. There he saw a lot of things, information and all of that. This is how it should be. Every person is human. Everyone is human. Though it depends on the kind of training you give to your children, because some children are just not it. You cannot even trust them because they would even say you as their parents and take the money. They would even, I've seen some videos where some children set their family up, trying to kidnap their parents and all of that. It's really sad. It's really sad, So for me, who have witnessed all of these things and seen that life is nothing, empty we came into this life, and empty we would go back, vanity upon vanity, my mom lying, they are not remembering anything, my dad and all of that. If anything should happen to me, God forbid, I wouldn't bother. I know it's hard starting life all over. I would not bother. I would simply walk away, go start a new life elsewhere. JJ, you know, all those things are vanity. The way I see life, all those things are vanity. But as a woman, as a man, if you are investing, include your partner's name. It shows trust. Let me read the last comment here. Oh, I don't want this video to be too long. I would bring that up in my next video. Then I will be able to react to some of the comments I screenshotted from that particular video. It's interesting. Yes, watch out for it. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your time, your support, and everything. Like my video, subscribe to my channel, and keep coming back for more. Bye.